The United States is now in imminent danger, and according to some, they say this is the greatest risk we have seen since 9/11. That right there should scare millions and millions of people, because 9/11 in the United States was one of the worst times in recent history. Now, the one thing I can tell you, even though we are seeing more experts, more officials come out and say that things are going from bad to worse, the problem is there's still very little that's being done. So I'm going to address what's going on in just a moment. All I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So common sense would tell us if we are in imminent danger, then we need to change what is currently happening. But that's not what is actually going on. The problem right now is many people have been warning that these dangers are going to continue and these will only intensify. But it doesn't mean we're going anywhere with this. Here's the reason why. Right now, an ex-FBI official is warning that Biden's open border policy could lead to a 10/7 Israel-style attack, and he's calling this the greatest risk in a lifetime. If you don't remember what happened on 10/7, this is October 7th. This is when Hamas went into Israel and attacked people at a concert. They took over 230 hostages, and this is still going on to this day, where Hamas still has over 130 hostages in Gaza. Most of them are underground, hiding in certain areas, and Israel is bombing the city, trying to get rid of Hamas. Now, that alone should scare you. But when ex-FBI officials are saying that this is the greatest risk of our lifetime, and this could be the greatest risk since 9/11, that is scary. Now, I want to show you, I actually want to read to you some of what they're saying. This was in an open letter, okay? This was an open letter written to the Biden administration and to many top officials. It says, this open border, 1,800 miles of open border, represents the greatest security risk in our lifetime. And we can shut the front door or guard the front door, if you will, at airports and train stations and modes of transportation. But if we just open up our border, all of our intelligence agencies, all that work goes for nothing because we don't know who's coming in. This is the problem, that the United States has no clue who is coming into the United States. We have no clue where they're coming from, what their intentions are. Well, in this open letter, it says, we have no idea and no way of vetting. There are 800,000 gotaways. We have close to 2 million migrant encounters. That number is probably low. It goes on to say, it is stark to say so, but having a large number of young males now within our borders who could begin attacking gatherings of unarmed citizens in imitation of 10/7 and at the behest of a foreign terror group must be considered a distinct possibility. The warning lights are blinking. This is not something that we should take lightly. This is something that we should really take with the utmost importance, because right now the entire United States is at risk. I want to read you one last thing. He says, we know that Hezbollah and other terrorist organizations have been infiltrating into this country for a long time. All it would take is 2 or 3 trained professionals to conduct a devastating attack in the United States. I mean, catastrophic. Then in the end, down here, says, all the security measures that we've taken since 9/11 are totally compromised because of this open border. Every single one of these is compromised because we have no clue who's in the United States, what their intentions are, or where they went. We have no idea. But this actually creates an even bigger problem because of this. Texas Governor Greg Abbott, he sends a stark message to sanctuary cities as migrant crisis continues. Here's what he's doing. Texas Governor Greg Abbott, now one of the reasons why, and now the troubling part about this is he's making the problem a little bit worse. According to experts, Texas's governor, by sending busloads of people or planefuls of people up to Chicago, up to New York, sending them to Colorado. What's happening is this is spreading out those migrants. Okay, they're being spread out all over the country. That's creating an even harder task for certain security officials to figure out where people are going. But here's the thing. The Texas governor doesn't want these people in Texas, and they don't want to be in Texas either. So instead of these people trying to make their way up to, Denver, or over to Denver, up to Chicago, up to New York on their own, and most of them running out of money when they get halfway there, well, he's just sending them. He's just sending them so that those cities can take care of them. Well, what's happening at this time is he is pretty much saying that he is going to keep this going. Until the Biden administration does something about this, he is going to continue to send people to different cities. Well, look at this. This is what he wrote just today. This is on X, or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. It says, Texas has transported over 102,000 migrants to sanctuary cities. Overwhelmed Texas border towns should not bear the brunt of Biden's open border policies. Our transportation mission will continue until Biden secures the border. Here's what's happening. Democrats continue to say that we should allow these people into the United States. These are not just people from Mexico. Okay? These are people from, South Africa. These are people from Guatemala, from Cuba, from other countries. Okay? We have no clue what the purpose of them coming to the United States is, other than the fact that our borders are open. That's it. So by Governor Greg Abbott saying that he's going to continue this, well, according to experts, that should be a red flag for Democrats, because these sanctuary cities like Chicago and New York, they cannot afford to continue to do this. This is a fight they cannot win. Now, speaking of those sanctuary cities, let's talk about what a couple are doing. This right here, okay? I want to read you this. Now, this is from a few weeks ago, but it says New York City Mayor Adams reverses the New York Police Department budget cuts planned due to city's spiraling migrant crisis. It says New York City has seen more than 160,000 migrants arrive since 2022. Now, here's what's going on. Initially, the New York City mayor decided, you know what? We have to cut the budget of the New York City Police Department. We have to because we don't have enough funding. Well, guess what? In a turn of events, he decided he is going to reverse that decision. He is not going to cut the budget for one reason. Okay? And I want to read this to you. Okay? Because I think this is very important. He says, right here, under this administration, more police officers means safer streets, safer subways, and a safer New York City. What's he trying to say? Is he trying to say that all these people coming into the city are not safe? They're not the ideal citizen of the United States? What is he saying? Because that's what somebody told me, that if he is concerned and he wants more police officers, there's probably a reason why. There could be more theft, could be more violence, could be a possibility of a terrorist attack. All possibilities. But again, that's just New York City. But here's Denver, for example. Let me show you this. It says a city of 710,000 struggles to cope with 40,000 migrant arrivals. This is in Denver. This is Denver, Colorado. Now, I have a friend that lives in Denver, and he was telling me just the other day that going down the street, you see at almost every single corner, there's usually one or two people that have a little water bottle, something like this, with a pinhole in it, and they have a squeegee. And they go and they take the water and the soap and they spray it on your window, and they kind of brush it around, and then they squeegee it off, and hopefully you'll give them a little bit of money. Now, how much? I don't know. Is it going to be $100? Well, probably not. But they're just hoping for a few bucks so that they can just make it for the next day. Now, here's the problem. People are doing this in Walmart parking lots. They're doing this at Home Depot. People are they're waiting. There's some people that will help you carry your groceries from the cart to the car. Now, and again, they're just asking for a little bit of money, just a little help, right? They're offering a service. Now, that's great. But here's the problem. What happens when one person is standing at a corner and they're washing windows? And then another person shows up, and another person, and now they're fighting for that territory, that corner. Guess what? Then potentially turns violent. And that's not something that we can stand. It's not something we need at this time. Now, here's what I can tell you. The Biden administration, they have a plan. The Biden administration says that if Congress would just give him additional funding and allow him to change the laws, right, or they change the laws and give him the authority to go and close the border, he would do so. But I want to show you this. This was something that President Biden, he put out back on January 26th, only a few days ago. Okay, but I want to read you this part right here. Okay, it says, first off, it says, let's be clear. What's been negotiated would, if passed into law, be the toughest and fairest set of reforms to secure the border we've ever had in our country. Goes on to say, it would give me, as president, a new emergency authority to shut down the border when it becomes overwhelmed. And if given that authority, I would use it the day I signed the bill into law. Now, this is why Republicans say they don't believe him. Because this would give the United States the authority to allow up to 4, 5, or maybe 8,500 people into the United States every single day. That right there, they say, that would be a catastrophe. That is something that we cannot afford. That is something that we cannot allow. So, what does that mean moving forward? Well, it means we are going to continue to negotiate this border security bill. President Biden has no intention of shutting the border down, especially if there's not a new bill. But if there is a new bill, it actually opens the door to have a certain cap of people. But at the same time, that cap would likely be hit every single day. So, there's a lot of concerns happening right now. All I can tell you is that the United States and the American people are in imminent danger. That's not according to me. That's according to multiple ex-officials, ex-FBI, Homeland Security, Department of Homeland Security has been telling us for months. Just wait, because this thing is going to happen. Now, whatever it is, I don't know. All I can tell you is I'll be here every step of the way. I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. All I can tell you right now is it is going to be interesting. But again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.